So it would stand to reason a car named the CLA-45 would be based or somewhat related to a car named the CLA-250, which is front-wheel drive. This car is not. This car is all-wheel drive. And there's an interesting fun fact about the all-wheel drive system of this car. Would you believe me if I told you that the drive shaft from there to there on this car is longer than the S-Class? So let's discuss transmissions. This is a 7-speed dual-clutch automated manual transmission. And basically, it works, actually. I mean, granted, I would much prefer a manual transmission, but, you know, we got sort of a manual transmission here. And it's got 3 modes. You can put it in a manual mode, you can put it in a sport mode that's automated, or you can put it in a comfort mode that's automated. And really, if you're going to zip around town, the sport or the comfort is more than adequate. But to do the kind of driving that I would prefer, I know you guys would prefer, definitely run it in manual, and you've got these aluminum pedals on the steering wheel where you can literally go, you choose the gears. You're not going to bounce off the red line, or it's not going to deny a shift if you want to go all the way down to 2. Try to do something as stupid as go to 1, and then the car is going to say, verboten. Remember back in the day when Mini reintroduced itself to the US market? It was the first European car where you could really customize things any way you wanted. Well, I wouldn't say the first. Bentley, Rolls-Royce, they still kind of did it, but not really affordable. I mean, come on. iPads that are connected to book-match wood, but I digress. It was more than just panoramic sunroofs like in this car. It was things like white roofs or Union Jacks on the mirrors. Well, the CLA-45 kind of does the same thing. And we're not talking about Deutsche flags on the mirrors. It's things for people like you and I, car guys. A performance exhaust. Or, I know my cousin Vinny already told you about this, red seat belts. And then there's the real option, which is Recaro seats. And I don't mean seats that were designed to look like Recaro. These are seats that were actually designed by Recaro. And these, if you're a track guy, will actually hold you in and have virtually every possible adjustment you could think of. So let's step back to the CLA-250. One of the things we talked about there was the short wheelbase. That really, to me, was its only shortcoming, in a very little sense, if you think about it. Basically, what you had there was a car that was great around town, but it drives different than other Benzes because it doesn't really have as long of a wheelbase. And you got the same kind of issue here. But what we're doing is we're changing things a bit. We've got a car that's going to have more power, so it's got 355 horsepower. But in addition to the change of more power, they do add the 4MATIC system as standard on this car. So we balance the power around all 4 wheels. And what's really interesting about that system is it's 100% variable. So I can run the power all the way on the front wheels, all the way on the rear wheels, or I can balance it in between. What it turns out to be is a car that is significantly more tossable than the CLA-250. You know, I'm going to go so far as to saying, and don't hate me here, it's got kind of a rally car feel because you've got the short wheelbase, and the short wheelbase doesn't make for the same kind of punch you in the face E63 type handling, but it's still around town, put it around corners, this thing will absolutely fly. So how do you take the same engine block, a 2-liter 4-cylinder, and run it from 208 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, and bring it all the way up to 355 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque? Well, it seems Mean Gene already gave you guys that answer when he let the cat out of the bag and told you about the cars that me and my idiot friends used to drive in college. You see, we used to get turbocharged cars, Supras, RX-7s, that kind of stuff, and take them from a paltry 6 or 7 psi of boost all the way up to 13 psi. Now, we were very excited back in the day when we did that. So, back to our Mercedes case. This one, 13, 14, maybe 15? Oh no, 26 pounds of boost. You heard that correctly, 26 pounds of boost. So what you have here is not a car that like pulls like a freight train like the E63 or like the S63. What this thing does, it's explosive power. So 2 things. Number 1, I am not a big fan of the gear stick off of the column. It's just, I mean, come on guys, didn't we do that back in 1974? So here in the CLA-45, we actually have the transmission in the right place. I think we should really keep it that way. And then number 2, did you guys see the color of this car? It's like an ultraviolet pearl. Actually, that's the exact name, the ultraviolet pearl. It's a very cool color, but with a black interior, something that says ultraviolet pearl, it should just pop you in the face, and it doesn't pop me in the face enough. So I'm thinking tan, or like black with tan accents in the seats. Maybe that's cool. Maybe a light gray. Actually, you can get this in a light gray interior. That's what you need. You need a contrast, and then you get the proverbial pop in the face. Okay, so here's the script. For a new MotoMan film every week, click subscribe. And to get a sneak peek of what's coming up on the show, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, MotoManTV, all one word.